Hey YouTube. I thought it was about time for another video update. I just got back from South Carolina, and that was quite an experience. There were a lot of good parts for sure, but also some negative parts. So I'll talk about them. So the Capitol was beautiful. I haven't been to a Capitol that had a garden before. That seems to be a very special South Carolina thing. And I thought that was special and nice. And the people who brought me were very kind, and most of the senators with whom I was able to have dinner and stuff were very kind as well. And the moms I met who were supporting me and sitting behind me and next to me, oh, they were amazing people. Every single mother that I've met on this journey of detransitioning and testifying is gorgeous, is beautiful and wonderful. They're so full of love and empathy, and they really understand what I've gone through, because most of them are going through the same thing with their children. It's a hard situation. But there's so much empathy and love between us. So if you're any of those moms, I love you sincerely. Um, so yeah, the plane rides on the way weren't so bad. I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then Columbia, South Carolina is where I landed, and that's where the Capitol is. And it was really nice. But there was this one senator, Brad Hutto, and he is a mean one. I debated whether or not I was going to talk about this, but I decided I'll just go for it. Because he's, a public figure, and apparently it's not really a secret that he's a jerk. But apparently, on top of just his general disdain for women and Jewish people and victims of assault, he also does not like detransitioners. He was very mean to me, mostly just with his tone and being dismissive and disrespectful. But the way he treated the other detransitioner, Xandra, oh my God, that's truly what made me cry. A little later on, just thinking about how she was treated, it really hurt. And I just couldn't get his face and his eyes out of my mind for like a really long time. I had a panic attack about it at the airport later. He's a real jerk. But I did it anyway, and I thought it was a pretty good testimony. I realized recently that my breasts were incinerated, and I put that in my testimony, because it makes me really sad. I guess it's because I'm mentally ill and because I was so young and naive when it happened, but for some reason I thought they were like preserved for some reason. I don't know. I didn't think of them being totally destroyed and literally in a fire. Like, that makes me really sad. So I put that in my testimony. Anyway, the other little story I have to tell is that on the flight back, I actually got to see the Northern Lights. So like suddenly the flight attendant said that the captain had an announcement for us and was going to dim the lights, and it got really dark in the cabin and it was quiet for a minute. I was scared we were going to die for a second. I was like, is this our goodbyes? Like, what is the captain telling us? But it was okay. And he said, if you look out to your right, there's the Northern Lights. So like there's this scale where they measure how strong it is, and it was like a 6.6 out of 10. I don't know what the scale is called, but oh my God, it was stunning. Like a green and blue river of light in the sky right next to us. So the captain started flying at a higher altitude and got above the clouds and like literally right next to the lights. It was insane. So I got to see that, and it was a really a nice treat after a hard day. You know what I mean? Also for this trip, I flew in one day, slept, testified in the morning, and then flew home in the evening. I got home at like 1:30 a.m. So that was especially hard. I'm I have future travel plans again in just like a day or less than a day. Um, but hopefully I'll rest for a little bit after that. I slept pretty much all day today, um, which was nice. And I spent some time with my boyfriend and his daughter, and that was really nice and refreshing. It feels good to be with family, you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I guess that's the South Carolina trip story. And you know, they didn't actually vote, is what I heard, and they're doing something next week or something. Um, if they ask me to testify again, I'm not willing to go in person because of that senator. And I will let them know that. I will meet with them over Zoom or something, but I'm not willing to go back to that place because of how he treats female detransitioners or detransitioners in general. And yeah, uncomfortable, scary. Thank you for listening.